Hello and welcome back. My name is Solsti, and today we're going through the final act, which is the final boss, and this is Illidan Storm Rage in the Trial by Felfire Part 5, which is the latest Hearthstone solo adventure. So Part 5, I didn't know what I was getting into going into this. The part really ends with you finishing off Mecha Jaraxxus at the end of Act 4, and with Illidan stating that you must now kill all of the remaining sort of mecha demons. Arana has chosen against this, and there's a lot of sort of casual rhyming going on between each of the characters. Don't really understand it at all. Illidan has a passive hero power which states that after your hero attacks, deal 1 damage to all enemies. In hindsight, my keep off the top wasn't probably great to keep the 3/1/1s because he does have quite a few weapons in his deck. But this entire fight, I would say, is quite disappointing. So far, we've gone through 16 bosses, this being the 17th boss, with a sort of increasing difficulty scale. Act 4 is by far the hardest act. It creates a lot more thought. Not that I would say any of them are particularly difficult, not compared to heroic solo adventures. Sort of the paid content that we're used to is typically much more difficult than these, but they are nice, and there is a card back reward for completing all 17 bosses. As you'll see here, I'm just kind of playing for board, trying to get a feel. The problem with a lot of these things is when you first do them, you kind of lose. You kind of don't have an idea of what you're going to be doing. Although luckily in this case, Illidan is, as I said, I wouldn't really call him an end boss. You definitely have a much more difficult time with Mecha Jaraxxus, who I would say is by far the most difficult, probably of the sort of last boss of each act. Overall, I would say that Act 4 has the 2 hardest bosses, which are Mecha Jaraxxus and the Fel Reaver. As I say, as sort of showing you here, you did get to see just then Illidan's hero power. He does use the ability. He uses quite a lot of twin glaives, which allow him to obviously get off those free attacks, and then also the extra 1 damage. There's nothing too threatening. I managed to save up a really good balance of outcasts to the left of my hand. I've been managing to work through my hand really efficiently. As you can see here, we get a really good set of cards. Play these down. It's quite interesting, as I said, because I didn't really know what I was getting into going into this. You see again the twin slice there. It just allows Illidan to get 2 damage off for the price of 1 with his hero power. But overall, I would say that this is a really nicely designed encounter. It's a great way of getting new players into the game. I wouldn't say it's something that's exceptional for people who've already been in the game for a while, as you know, probably a lot of us have been. Although if you're watching this video, you probably are newer to the game and probably just trying to get a feel for what's the easiest way of completing some of these challenges. As you can see here, Illidan doesn't really have a great way of clearing the outcasts when they're placed down. There are quite a few. You get quite a few weapons as well when you use some of the abilities. So we're just here clearing through the minions. Got an abundant hand. Got two dormant minions that are about to come up. I've got some really valuable weapons, so I'm just going to use those and sort of get through it. Again, as I said, I didn't know what I was expecting here. I wasn't sure if I was going to be playing in a multi-stage battle. Those who are familiar with Hearthstone will know that some of the end bosses are like multi-stage, sort of 3 or 4 difficulties. Some of these solo adventure battles and heroic can go on for 10, 15, 20 minutes almost at times. So as you see here, I sort of plow through quite a lot of health, and I drop Illidan down very heavily. So he's just taken 15 damage in the turn. So he's taken 27 damage. He's down to 57 health. And then that's it. That's the fight. I don't know what the threshold is. I imagine because I dealt so much damage in 1 turn, it's possibly you need to get him below 75 or 70, I would say. So as you can see here, I thought he was transforming. This is what you would typically have in an encounter from Blizzard, especially one of the solo adventures. But yeah, no, this is just it. He just finishes here. There's a little bit of lore, a little bit of conversation. So just while this is going on, I just wanted to wrap up the whole solo adventure. Thank you very much if you've watched any of my videos so far. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. It helps me grow the channel. But in the meantime, I will be posting more Battleground stuff as well to the channel. And yeah, in terms of solo adventures, I would say that this is one of the easiest because there is no heroic mode, but it also is free and it is a nice bit of content. It did take me about 6 to 7 hours to play through the whole thing while doing it for videos. So thank you very much. Here's the card back, and that's all been completed. So that's the trial by Felfire, and that's all parts 1 to 5 done. Cheers. Thank you.